educational, interesting, and exciting LinkedIn Live. Today, we're going to focus on one of the key areas that could make 2023 the year you always dreamed of, and that's connections. Connections are where everything starts and hopefully where everything continues to build. So, what is it that's so important about connections and the strategy you need to use in order to really be what I think is a measure of success, which is time and thought efficiency, right? How much do you invest in something and how much do you return either in learning or earning? By the way, chat's on, feel free. Love to hear who you are, where you're from, and really kind of focus on, this year, because that's what the planning element is, and next year. And what have you done this year that you can continue to build on into next year? What have you done that didn't pay off? And now you want to take that time and effort and apply it to something that could. Okay, we've got a gentleman here. John Mark, good day. I'm honored to have your guidance. Well, it's people like you who keep showing up and keep sharing. And that's so important because the bigger the audience, the bigger the knowledge share. And that's what I'm trying to do with this show. Thank you so much, John. Okay. I was just going to ask you that. You're reading my mind. From Chile. Well, welcome. Welcome. And we've got Gokul here. I hope I pronounced it right. Greetings. I've seen Gokul's profile. I would definitely look at it, and the same thing with John and anybody else who wants to put their name on the board, to use this as a networking event, because what it proves or what it shows is what one person's learning can multiply through others, and they can multiply it, and then everybody gets better together. And then through this community of interaction, people can learn 7 times as fast as if people who are like-minded, and I'm going to get to that, work together, because I'd rather learn from somebody else's experience than have to go through it. And I'd like to pay for it with my own experience to keep it coming, because LinkedIn is a marketplace. It's a trading place. You exchange something for something else of equal or better value. So we've got another gentleman, Tundi, I hope I pronounced it right. Greetings from Nigeria to the discussions and audience, wishing all of you a prosperous new year in advance. Well, that's what it's all about. See, even just the motivation is a trade-off for goodwill. And that's what you want to do. You want to plant seeds. You want to create goodwill. And the way to create goodwill is to give goodwill. Be the first to give to get. You got to get the cycle going. And if you give and you don't get, that qualifies the person out. So, getting back to how do you build this connection network? Well, you could do what I'm doing right now, LinkedIn Live. It promotes you. It tells everybody you're on. And actually, I've got a program. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to share and teach that gets you to where I am in a short period of time, much shorter. And then getting back to connections, you want to go for aligned individuals. You'd rather do more with qualified people of a lesser quantity than less with an unqualified group of people who are just out there, right? It's your job to determine what you want. And here's the key. Share what you want. Say, if you were hiring, wouldn't you be specific? Wouldn't you say, here's the position, here's what it takes? Well, why don't you have a position for a connection? Why don't you say open to connections, who, what? And that way they know what you're looking for. And the people who then respond to you are doing so in a pre-qualified way because they've met the requirements, hopefully. That's so simple. This business is so simple, but people complicate it. And one of the key areas to this is just do what you do in life and bring it to LinkedIn at a higher level and do it faster and do it first. The ones who go first win the most. Again, if I give you $1 and you give me nothing back, I'm not going to give you the second dollar, but I'm going to save all that time in the future. And this doesn't cost $1. This costs typing a message saying, I see we have a lot in common. Let's have a Zoom. If they say no, or they don't say anything, take them off the list. You got 830 million to work with. Don't take what comes. Don't take pot luck, right? Create your own luck. Moving on, build with active people. Excuse me. If they're not active for themselves, they're not going to be active for you or with you, right? People are active or doing new things or doing things more often. Doesn't matter who they are. People tend to go to this saying, how am I going to get a client? Where's my client? Your client will either show up or it won't, but where's your strategic partner? That's an easier, better, and more powerful match. So build with active people, which will then lay the foundation for future interactions. How you start is how you continue. You should know where you're going with people. If they ask you from the beginning, how do I get to the top right now? You should have a process. You should have a goal. It shouldn't be meet somebody at the entrance and walk around with them and talk, and leadership is getting people to do things they wouldn't or couldn't have done without you. Okay, Gokul. Goody from India. Great to have you. Again, a couple of thumbs up. Always nice to see our reactions. Here's another gentleman. Greetings. It's just amazing the people you get to meet, the people you get to know. And that's about connections. Look at the opportunities. Don't look at everybody as work. Look at everybody as an opportunity. But you're choosing the opportunity. So what you get is what you chose. Take responsibility. There's so much to being accountable. I'm moving on because, and this is what I've done over the last 3 years. I've been posting every day for 3 years. I've been doing a LinkedIn Live every day, 7 days a week for 7 months, probably going on 8. And it's consistency. It's showing up. Here we go. John's got a comment. Okay, share with my comments is a meet yesterday, business synopsis, the image of a leader, being that is able to make things happen. You're so right, John. So many people are waiting for something to happen. And when you start making something happen, what you were doing, waiting for something to happen didn't change. If something's going to come to you that way, it'll come to you. It's independent of what you create. And here's the thing. When you do more, you're busier. You're not thinking of what isn't working. You're not thinking about who isn't getting back to you. If you're doing that, you're working for them. They're changing your activities based on their lack of activity towards you, which then comes down to what was it that you reached out for? What were you expecting from them? And how does that measure up? And the key is to double your rate of failure on LinkedIn so you learn what not to do. And you're doing stuff when nobody else is doing anything. It's open field. So, if you're going to work a job 8 hours a day, what 8 hours a day on LinkedIn, if you're doing stuff versus checking your responses. Here we go. Another great comment. LinkedIn is our great platform for sharing our New Year plan and views. So right, Gokul, because this is where you get a voice. Look at it like every day you wake up and LinkedIn gives you a microphone and says, what would you like to talk to 830 million people possible about? And too many people are thinking things up. What I decided is what I'm thinking is what I'm sharing. I'm not trying to cook up an essay or do a great photo shoot. Who's fooling who? Be you. That's the key. And there's enough people there that will relate to you out of 830 million. And how many people do you need? 5 that are working tight? I mean, that could explode this. Moving on. get behind people, compliment their post, identify the 5 or 10 people you want to say, I want to build a board of directors. If you were out recruiting a board of directors, you would look for people who could complement what you're doing, support what you're doing, who are active, who are aligned, and that's your goal. You can't cast that big of a net around 800 million people. Get 5. When you get to 5, look at what they do, and maybe that's the reason you got them, and then start supporting them. Start raising your hand like the people here. Everybody, this video will be seen by about 175 thought leaders or people who are interested in LinkedIn Live today, right? Anybody who gets mentioned on the show gets that exposure. You have to look at it as, how many people can you reach in the shortest amount of time and do it in a way that's sustainable, duplicatable, and scalable. And I've figured it out. And what I'm doing, instead of getting out there and selling books, is proving it, doing it for me, doing it myself, not telling people what to do that I haven't done or I can't show numbers. And that's the key. If you're going to buy into anything, ask them what they did with it and ask them to show you what happened with it. And if they can't do it, why would you want to do it with someone who didn't do it or couldn't do it right? So moving on, Gokul, LinkedIn. Okay, we just shared that. Thank you. And let us connect, grow together, multiply together, and prosper together. Togetherness, we are one. LinkedIn family with 2 hearts. Hey, that is so great to be sharing that, because you know what it does? It shows your heart, not your brain, right? And that's the key. Nobody wants a phony. Nobody wants somebody who's trying to be something they're not. And nobody wants a big shot. The definition of a big shot is a little shot that keeps shooting, and that's the key. Persistency, learning from your mistakes, learning from your successes, celebrating your successes. And that goes into the connection strategy too, because who do you want to celebrate with? Who do you want to support? Who do you want to support you? That's what you're reaching out for. Don't just say, connect. What does that mean? And what happens when you connect? And here's Poonam. Every day seems like, hi, boss. Thank you so much. Hi, back to you. And this is building a community. More and more people are starting to come here every day, not just for what I'm saying, but from what everybody else is coming together for. And the more you get your voice out there, the more your voice matters. So, take some of this. I've got some other elements, getting back to the complimenting post. When you find those 5 people, support them for a week or 2, ring their bell, see what they're doing, comment for it, give them a message, because then when you ask them for a Zoom call, you're a peer, you're already working together. When you just talk to a stranger and say, hey, I see we got a lot in common, let's have a call. It's like, yeah, 100 of you tell me that a day, okay, Paul makes such a great point here. Authenticity, that's key. And especially, that's why LinkedIn Live is so good. There's no filter. There's nothing opaque here. This is right now, real conversation, real time. And that makes it more real, but it also makes it excusable. By doing this is so superior, in my opinion, to doing a video. Because if you produce a video, everybody knows that you could have edited it and you put it out there. And LinkedIn Live, there is no real heavy preparation. I got a couple notes and there's no homework. When it's done, it's done. LinkedIn promotes you, tells your network you're going live. LinkedIn posts automatically to you. How can you beat it? And you're working within your own sphere. Okay, Cynthia is here. Thank you so much for your support, Cynthia. Great gal. I check her profile. Alex is always looking to do better, and he's got a lot of lot of insights. And now we've got Garen, who I'll be talking to next Monday. Thanks for joining. Hopefully this helps put a plan together and shows the power of this network and platform. Virtual connections are more important via LinkedIn. You know, everybody's waiting for somebody. Be the somebody. You know, get out there. You know, if you're in a playing field where you're the only player, it is open field. Right now, it's not just LinkedIn Live. It's consistency, dependability, because those are attributes that other connections are going to be attracted to. Plus, there's something to third-party validation. You know, I got 37,000 followers. You know, I use my connection strategy in 2 years ago. And I committed to going from 5,000 connections to 25,000 connections in 4 months. And I got to 27,000 connections. Okay, Garen's here. We just said that. Okay, Tundi. Sustainable development goal in the area of agriculture. Okay, that's great. It's an important area. Everybody, that's going to be a more important area as time goes on. Alex, you got to get good reviews. You know, that's so key is to be givers get. Thank you so much, Alex. And that's, you know, this is free. I do this every day. I love doing it. If no one showed up but me, I'd still do it. Wouldn't have as much fun with it, and I wouldn't learn as much. And that would be where I would feel bad. Is if you're the one doing it and people criticize you or you're worried about criticism, are they doing it? And if they're not doing it, they got nothing to say. At least you're taking initiative. And this is a good way of getting out there, getting your voice. Here's Leslie. I mean, I am so impressed with Leslie. And, you know, while you're listening, you should be connecting with all these people. You know, that could be your opportunity, because eventually, or not eventually, I feel responsible for the time I'm taking from you. And if you can't get a return on it, I'm not doing you a favor or anybody else. But if I can give you ideas, I can give you individuals who I know and tag. And that's another thing. Anybody who comments, I tag. I should have said that, right? So if you're an audience and all you want to do is say your name and where you're from, you know, you'll be in tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow's post, you know, and I tag 180 people a day now. And that's how I got to 25,000. I'm an expert at that stuff. Gokul comes back with, we can share natural views. Perfect. Alex. Awesome, Don. Thank you. Thank you very much. And, you know, that's what makes a difference. And Alex is right to the point. Is Frisco, Texas. Never been there, but it sounds like a good name. Actually, there's a Frisco, Colorado, just up the road. And I think Alex makes a great point, because, and it kind of is a common thread through everybody on this broadcast, is people really need empathetic support. You know, this is a lonely game. It's a long game. If you don't have patience, if you don't have a little thicker skin sometimes, and if you're not really responsible and accountable to yourself, it's hard. And everybody just wants to know that, you know, it's okay, and you're going to be okay. And if you can't do it, the question then becomes, could we do it? And now we make each other better for working together. Leslie, Colin from NC USA, why so many? You can teach and reach, yet how many do you really have close communications with? You know, and that's really to the point of alignment, but the other element is relevancy. You have to be relevant. You know, if you're not, you're picking the wrong audience, or you're sending the wrong message. So it's either your content or your audience. That's all LinkedIn allows you to do. They take care of the platform. Your deal is you've got the microphone, you've got the voice. What are you saying? and who is hearing it, and who are you intending to hear it? That's why plan, do, review is so important. So many people are doing, and that's the people are doing who are better than the people who never do. They're not reviewing. They're not changing, so it's like put it on set and forget. Fabian, great guy. Looking forward to learning more in Supercharging 2023. Well, I'm so happy that there's so many people who are sharing and getting involved, because you're going to be off to a faster start. And actually, the nice thing about LinkedIn Live is every one of my LinkedIn Lives, and I've got like 400 now, you can go back and watch those too. So it gives you this whole, library of taped LinkedIn Lives. And, I've got like content strategy, mindset strategy, because what I'm sharing every day is what I'm thinking every day and what I'm learning from the day before. So this is like reality TV, which is, hey, here's the goods. What does everybody else have? And sharing is caring. And, I'd love it if you'd share this video when it's done. It's just a simple button. And, it shows that you're making an investment. And hopefully the investment is in yourself. Okay, Gokul's got a pretty significant goal. 10,000 in 5 years. That's great. I've got 37,000, 100,000 in 3 years. It comes down to like 100. And that's all, and that's more than I need. I have 300 people who want to be tagged in my post every day, and I can only tag 180. So there's such a demand for honest community, not just engagement pods where everybody does the same thing and it's so phony, and that is so far from being authentic. Okay, have another gentleman here. Hello, everybody. Well, hello back to you. Cynthia shared. Cynthia's great. Consider it done, Alex. And that's the key, is everybody would do more if they knew what it was to do. And why don't, I believe in buying some vowels to solve the LinkedIn Wheel of Fortune puzzle and get faster away from the mob. Everybody's in this scrum with 800 million people. Elevate, differentiate, distinguish. You can do it because no one else is doing it. You don't have to do it that well. You just got to start doing it. And pretty soon people start seeing you for doing things nobody else is doing around them. And that's attractive. Okay. How do you know they want to be tagged? Well, that's a great question. And usually it's because of getting to know everybody. I don't believe I've tagged anybody I haven't had a conversation with or an interaction, or they haven't tagged me. And I've, in doing it, and I did 150 tags a day, every day for like 2 years. And that's why I built a network. Those people never leave you. And here's the thing, and that's a great question, Leslie. I'm so happy you brought it up. Is that's the goodwill you bring. And what I learned is because I had so many people to tag and so few tags that I didn't have to tag anybody who didn't want to. And if anybody ever said, hey, and, in 2 years, I think 2 people said, I'm just too busy. I can't take any more inbound. And that was the thing. And when I took people off, and I just had to keep rotating to be fair, I would get a message like, what did I do wrong? Is there something I should have known or whatever? And they would say, and I'd hear, I'm getting 150 unsolicited inbound connection requests from good people. Because what I did to get a lot of connections, I went to where the people I really enjoyed or admired, looked at who they tagged, and then reached out to all them. That was their top 50, top 100. That's where you're qualified, because if you get what other people have that you want, it's a direct connection with them, you, and their group, and vice versa. And that's also commenting and sharing gives the content more value, LinkedIn looks at interactions. The other thing about tagging, and this is about connecting, but I guess tagging is connecting in a way, or helps connect, is LinkedIn sees the response to your post within a certain period of time. If it doesn't light up, it just sits. If it lights up, LinkedIn starts matching you with like-minded people who are interacting because they think it's relevant. So when you tag 180 people and 100 people respond in a short period of time, it lights it up. Here's the caveat though. If your only interaction is the people you tag, that's a disadvantage. It's if it doesn't go beyond it. So like yesterday, tagged all those people, had 400 views on the video. 180 people can't be 400. Leslie, okay. Do you have it with this? Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I could, well, I'll show you. Okay, let me share my screen. Get this off. Okay, so share screen, go to my Chrome tab, go to there, share. Okay, well, no, I wanted to go somewhere else. This will be worthwhile though. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here we are. So this is, I know it might be small, but this is like, I even have it alphabetized. So if you see, you know, when I stop, have my message, keeps going. So this will be today. So it'll be 170 some tags. So, you know, the key to it is, again, time efficiency. Everything I have, it's Leslie, it's so great you said that, because it just ignited me into being able to share, being systematic. I run this like a business. So when I looked at successful businesses, I looked at like McDonald's, right? Or Burger King. And it's like lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, blah, blah, blah. Well, with LinkedIn, it's the same thing. I have my tags, I have everything organized, I have all my content, and the beauty of it is repurposing, taking things you've done and bringing them back. Some things are evergreen, some things are universal, right? And you already paid the price, get a return. When you share things with others, you're getting a return. So what you do is too singular initially. It's only how you repurpose it, how you share it, how you get more from it. For it to work, you got to work it. So yeah, I've got my tags, and I'm helping so many people get exposed, getting promoted, because I don't just tag anybody either, so tagging is important. Promoting connections, sharing, if you were someone who was the welcome wagon, the goodwill ambassador for your network or community, what would you dream up? You would come up with another value, another service, another benefit. You'd just be out there creating more value for the people you serve. And, they say faith is the belief in the invisible. Sometimes you got to believe when you can't see it, because it takes time. It doesn't grow because you need it or want it. Here we go. Well, we got quite a few. I haven't been keeping up. Gokul, we connect as family on LinkedIn. Absolutely. Alex loves his family. It's great to have family. No kidding, especially around the holidays. Real families in Boston, great town. Cynthia, to all beef patty special sauce. Yeah. Proof of Mark, I remember that when I was a kid. Yeah, remember Burger King, have it your way. Alex, I believe you. I believe you too. And that's having fun, throw that into it. And I've got some programs, to work with people who are committed to being serious about their success. Look back at the beginning of this year. Look at how fast it went. Look at how next year is going to be critical to everything you're doing, right? It's a continuation. They say there's no outcomes. Everything is a continuum. So, are you going to change for the better? Are you going to be better? Are you going to do better? Are you going to do more with more people faster? You got to use these controls and dial things in, dial things out, and get, it's like going for an eye check, right? They put you in and one or two left or right, and eventually they focus to knowing what your prescription is. LinkedIn's the same way. Look at, take inventory. This is too important if you're serious and you're putting time into it, because, you could get a job anywhere and get paid. So if you can't count up your time, see your benefit, and it will all relate to the subject at hand today, which is connections, how to do it, who to do it with, and why they should do something with you. That's the thing. If you look at my profile, it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with what I do for others, because that's all they're interested in initially. After they know what I do and they can see it, maybe they'll get to know me, maybe they won't, but they'll never get to know me if they're not attracted to what I do and what I do for them. And you got to meet people where they're at. And you got to be, another thing why that's happening is, you've got to promote yourself. The saying is be known before you're needed. Get out there and do what you got to do. So this has been a great show. It's been about 33 minutes, which is unusual. I go with the crowd, you know what I mean? So as long as the crowd's interested and active, I'm here, because this feedback will affect what I do right after this, which is tagging, and will affect my content tomorrow. Because, a rocket ship is off course 97% of the time, and the gyroscope brings it back to where it needs to be. The audience, the feedback, the interaction polishes you, makes you better if you're open to change and you believe in it. Well, gosh, a lot of great people, a lot of familiar names. I'm so grateful and appreciative. And like I say, if you share it, if you comment, that would be great. It wouldn't take much, but it would make a difference. Okay. We've got always good shares of yours. Thank you, Dow. Thank you. All of you make this all worthwhile, and hopefully use this as a springboard, to make your day happen and start to chart your 2023 connection strategy. So appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye for now.